In the village of Adotsi, there lived a young girl named Nia. Nia was known for her incredible weaving skills. Everyone in the village admired her work, and they often wondered how someone so young could create such beautiful cloth. Nia was always curious, her big brown eyes sparkling with excitement every time she found new patterns to weave. One day, the village elders called Nia to the village hall. They told her that a grand ceremony was coming up, a celebration that happened only once every 10 years. For this ceremony, they needed a special cloth, one that would represent the dreams and hopes of the entire village. They believed Nia was the only one who could create such a cloth. Nia was nervous, but she was also excited. She knew this was a great honor, and she promised the elders that she would do her best. Nia returned to her weaving room, thinking about what the elders had said. She sat at her loom, carefully choosing the threads she would use. As she began to weave, something strange happened. The threads seemed to have a life of their own. They shimmered with colors she had never seen before, and as they wove together, they began to form pictures of the villagers' dreams. As Nia continued to weave, the cloth began to tell stories. Each section showed a different dream: a child playing with her friends, a farmer harvesting his crops, an elder sitting by the fire, thinking of the past. Nia realized that this was no ordinary cloth. It was a cloth of dreams, showing the hopes and wishes of everyone in the village. Nia was amazed. She knew she had to keep weaving until the cloth was complete. But as she continued, she began to wonder what her own dreams would look like. She hadn't thought about her own dreams for a long time. Nia stopped for a moment and looked at the cloth she had created so far. It was beautiful, more beautiful than anything she had ever made before. But something was missing. Nia realized that she had woven everyone else's dreams into the cloth, but not her own. She wondered what her dream would be. As she thought about it, she realized that her dream was to create something that would make people happy, something that would last forever. She smiled to herself, knowing that her dream was just as important as anyone else's. As Nia sat quietly, thinking about her dream, she heard a soft knock at the door. She was surprised who could be visiting so late at night. She opened the door to find an old woman standing there, her eyes twinkling with kindness. The old woman introduced herself as Mama Chinye, a wise woman from a distant village. She had heard of Nia's weaving and had come to see the cloth of dreams for herself. Nia welcomed her in, and Mama Chinye gazed at the cloth with admiration. "This cloth is truly magical, Nia," Mama Chinye said. "But I sense there is still more for you to discover. The dreams of others are important, but so is your own. Have you thought about what you wish to weave into this cloth?" Nia nodded slowly. "I have, but I'm not sure how to weave my own dream. It feels different." Mama Chinye smiled gently. "Every dream is different, child. But the magic of this cloth comes from the heart. Close your eyes, think of your deepest wish, and let your hands guide you." Nia closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She thought about her dream, how she wanted to create something that would make people happy, something that would be remembered for generations. She let her heart guide her hands as she began to weave. As she worked, the colors in the cloth began to change. They became richer, deeper, more vibrant. The images on the cloth shifted, showing scenes of joy, unity, and love. Nia's dream was coming to life before her eyes, and it was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. Mama Chinye nodded approvingly. "You have found the true magic of the cloth, Nia. It is the magic of love and creativity, the power to bring dreams to life." As the cloth neared completion, something incredible happened. The images on the cloth began to move, as if they were alive. Nia watched in amazement as the cloth told the story of her village, their joys, their struggles, their dreams. It was as if the cloth had captured the very soul of Adotsi. Nia realized that this cloth was more than just a beautiful piece of art. It was a living record of her people's hopes and dreams, something that would inspire them for generations to come. She knew now that her dream had become a part of something much bigger. Mama Chinya placed a hand on Nia's shoulder. This cloth is your gift to the village, Nia. It is a gift that will remind them of the power of dreams and the importance of community. But remember, your journey is not over. There are still many dreams to weave and many stories to tell. After the ceremony, Nia returned to her weaving room, feeling a sense of fulfillment she had never felt before. But as she sat by the window, looking out at the village, she felt a new stirring in her heart, a longing to discover what other dreams and stories were waiting to be woven. She realized that there were more villages out there, more people with their own dreams and hopes. What if she could travel and weave their stories too? What if the cloth of dreams could grow even larger, encompassing the dreams of many more? Mama Chinya, who had stayed with Nia, seemed to read her thoughts. "You are thinking of leaving, aren't you, child?" she asked with a knowing smile. Nia nodded slowly. "I feel like there's more for me to discover. The world is full of stories, and I want to weave them all." Mama Chinya placed a hand on Nia's shoulder. "Then follow your heart, Nia. The world is wide and full of wonders. But remember, wherever you go, the magic of the cloth of dreams will go with you." Nia began to prepare for her journey. She packed her favorite weaving tools, knowing that wherever she went, she would need them to continue her work. Mama Chinya helped her, placing extra spools of thread into her bag and giving her a small hand-carved loom, just the right size for traveling. "You will need this," Mama Chinya said with a smile. "It's light enough to carry with you, but strong enough to weave any dream." Nia thanked her, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never left her village before, but she knew that this was the right path for her. The world was full of stories waiting to be woven, and she was ready to find them. The day had come for Nia to leave Adotsi. The village square was filled with people, all gathered to say goodbye to the young weaver who had brought so much magic and joy into their lives. The elders were there, along with Nia's family and friends. Even the children, who had always been fascinated by her weaving, were there, holding small gifts they had made for her. Nia's heart swelled with love for her village. She knew she would miss them, but she also knew that this was the start of a new chapter in her life. She had dreams to weave, stories to tell, and a world to explore. Baba Ikin, the eldest of the village, stepped forward and placed a hand on Nia's head, offering a blessing. "May your journey be filled with light and discovery, Nia. Remember, no matter how far you travel, Adotsi will always be your home." The villagers cheered, and Nia felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. She waved goodbye to everyone, promising to return one day with new stories and dreams woven into her cloth. As Nia walked along the dirt road leading out of Adotsi, she felt a mix of emotions. The excitement of adventure filled her heart, but there was also a small knot of uncertainty in her stomach. The world outside her village was vast, and she didn't know what she would find. But with each step she took, the uncertainty faded, replaced by the thrill of the unknown. The road ahead was long, and Nia knew that it would be filled with challenges, but also with opportunities to learn, grow, and weave new stories. She passed fields of wildflowers and listened to the songs of the birds. The world seemed alive with possibilities, and Nia's imagination began to soar. What kinds of people would she meet? What stories would they have to tell? She couldn't wait to find out. As the day wore on, Nia found herself entering a dense forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches intertwining to create a roof of green above her head. The forest was quiet, almost eerily so, with only the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant call of a bird to break the silence. Nia felt a shiver run down her spine. This place felt different from the open fields she had passed earlier. It was as if the forest itself held secrets, waiting to be discovered. But instead of feeling afraid, Nia felt a strange sense of curiosity. She knew that this forest had stories of its own, and she was determined to find them. She walked deeper into the forest, her eyes darting from side to side, taking in every detail. The trees seemed to whisper as she passed, and the air was filled with the scent of earth and moss. Nia knew that something magical was hidden here, something that she needed to uncover. After what felt like hours of walking, Nia stumbled upon a clearing in the forest. The trees opened up to reveal a small, sunlit meadow, and in the center stood a large, ancient tree. This tree was unlike any Nia had ever seen before. Its bark was etched with strange symbols, and its branches were adorned with shimmering leaves that seemed to hum with energy. Nia approached the tree cautiously, her eyes wide with wonder. She reached out to touch the bark, and as her fingers brushed against it, she felt a warmth spread through her hand. The tree seemed to pulse with life, and Nia could feel the magic within it. Suddenly, the leaves began to rustle even though there was no wind. The symbols on the tree's bark started to glow faintly, and Nia realized that this tree was special. It was connected to the very heart of the forest. She felt that the tree was trying to communicate with her, trying to share its story. Nia sat down at the base of the tree, her heart beating fast. She knew that she was on the verge of discovering something incredible, something that would add a new and powerful chapter to the cloth of dreams. As Nia sat beneath the ancient tree, she closed her eyes and let her senses attune to the forest around her. The hum of the tree's energy grew louder, and soon it was as if the tree was whispering directly to her. Nia's heart raced, but she stayed calm, focusing on the tree's soft murmurs. The whispers grew clearer, forming words that echoed in Nia's mind. Weaver of dreams, you have found me. I am the Heartwood, keeper of the forest memories. Many have sought my secrets, but only those with true purpose may hear my story. Nia's eyes fluttered open, and she gazed up at the glowing symbols on the tree. I am honored to hear your story, Heartwood, she whispered. I seek to weave the dreams and stories of the world into my cloth. What memories do you hold? The tree's branches swayed gently, and a soft light enveloped Nia. Long ago, this forest was a place of great magic, where spirits and humans lived in harmony. But as time passed, the magic began to fade, and the spirits withdrew deeper into the forest. I hold the memories of that time, the hopes and dreams of those who once lived here. But these memories are fading, and soon they will be lost. Nia felt a pang of sadness. Is there a way to preserve these memories? To keep the magic alive? The Heartwood's voice was filled with a deep, ancient wisdom. Yes, weaver of dreams. You can weave these memories into your cloth, but it will not be easy. You must journey deeper into the forest, to the well of echoes, where the strongest memories reside. There, you will find the last remnants of the forest magic. But beware, for the path is treacherous, and not all who seek the well return. Nia stood up, her mind racing. The Heartwood's words had stirred something deep within her, a desire to protect the memories and magic of the forest. She knew that the journey to the Well of Echoes would be dangerous, but she also knew that she couldn't turn back now. This was her calling, her chance to weave something truly extraordinary. She looked up at the Heartwood. I will go to the Well of Echoes, she said firmly. I will gather the memories and weave them into the cloth of dreams. The magic of this forest must not be lost. The Heartwood's leaves rustled approvingly. You are brave, young weaver. Take this with you. One of the tree's branches bent down, and a small, glowing seed dropped into Nia's hand. This is a seed of my essence. It will guide you and protect you on your journey. When you reach the well, plant it in the earth, and the path will reveal itself. Nia held the glowing seed close, feeling its warmth. Thank you, Heartwood. I will not fail you. With that, Nia turned and began to walk toward the shadowy path that led deeper into the forest. She didn't know what dangers lay ahead, but she knew that this journey was a necessary part of her story. The deeper Nia ventured into the forest, the darker and more mysterious it became. The tall trees seemed to close in around her, their branches forming a thick canopy that blocked out the sunlight. The path was narrow and winding, with twisted roots and dense undergrowth making each step a challenge. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, rustling leaves, distant growls, and the occasional snap of a twig. Nia's heart pounded in her chest, but she kept going, her hand tightly gripping the glowing seed that the Heartwood had given her. Its warmth was a comforting presence, reminding her that she was not alone. As she walked, Nia noticed that the forest seemed to be watching her. Eyes glinted in the shadows, and whispers floated through the air, too faint to understand. But Nia kept her focus on the path ahead. She knew that fear would only lead her astray. After what felt like hours of walking, Nia reached a small clearing where the trees thinned out, and a soft, blue light shimmered in the distance. She knew she was getting closer to the Well of Echoes, but she also knew that the most difficult part of her journey was yet to come. As Nia stepped into the clearing, she felt a sudden surge of energy. The air around her seemed to vibrate with power, and the ground beneath her feet trembled slightly with each pulse. In the center of the clearing stood a large stone well, its surface etched with ancient runes that glowed faintly in the blue light. But Nia's attention was quickly drawn to the figure standing before the well. It was tall and shadowy, its features obscured by the swirling mist that surrounded it. The figure's presence was imposing, and Nia could feel the weight of its gaze on her. "Who approaches the Well of Echoes?" The figure's voice was deep and resonant, echoing through the clearing like a distant thunderstorm. Nia took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I am Nia, a weaver of dreams. I have come to gather the memories of the forest and weave them into my cloth, to preserve the magic and stories that are fading." The figure was silent for a moment, and Nia could feel its eyes, though she couldn't see them, boring into her, as if searching her very soul. Finally, it spoke again, its voice softer this time. "Many have come before you, seeking the power of the well. Few have succeeded, and fewer still have returned. What makes you think you are worthy?" Nia felt the weight of the question, but she stood tall, her voice steady. "I don't seek the power of the well for myself. I seek to preserve the memories of this forest, to keep the magic alive for those who come after me. I carry the seed of the Heartwood, and I will plant it here, to guide me and protect these memories." The figure seemed to consider her words, then slowly nodded. "Very well, weaver of dreams. You may proceed. But know this, the well will test you, and you must be prepared to face the memories that dwell within. Only then will you be able to weave them into your cloth." Nia nodded, her resolve unwavering. "I am ready." With that, the figure stepped aside, revealing the Well of Echoes in all its ancient, mystical glory. Nia knew that she was about to face her greatest challenge yet, but she also knew that this was the moment she had been preparing for all her life. With the glowing orb of the well's essence cradled in her hands, Nia felt a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. The memories of the forest, the sorrows and joys she had embraced, now flowed through her, intertwining with her own story. She knew that it was time to return to her loom, to weave the magic she had gathered into the cloth of dreams. As Nia turned toward the spiral staircase, the well's gentle hum seemed to offer her a silent farewell, as if acknowledging her achievement. She began the ascent, each step feeling lighter than the last. The golden light that guided her upward felt like the well itself was encouraging her onward, leading her back to the world above. The climb, which had seemed so long and difficult on the way down, now felt almost effortless. Nia's heart was light, filled with the knowledge that she had completed the test and received the well's blessing. The memories she carried were no longer a burden but a treasure, ready to be woven into the fabric of her life's work. When Nia finally emerged from the well, she was greeted by a sight that took her breath away. The clearing was bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, the sky awash with shades of pink and orange. The Heartwood tree stood tall and proud, its leaves shimmering like jewels in the fading light. The forest, which had seemed so dark and mysterious before, now felt vibrant and full of life. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying with it the whisper of the forest's gratitude. Nia stood for a moment, taking it all in. She had faced the world's challenges, gathered the memories of the forest, and now she was ready to weave them into her cloth. She felt a deep connection to the forest, a bond that would remain with her forever. The Heartwood's branches swayed gently, as if nodding in approval. Nia smiled and bowed her head in respect. "Thank you, Heartwood. I will honor the memories of the forest and carry them with me wherever I go." Nia's journey back to Adotsi was swift, her steps light and her heart full of purpose. When she entered her weaving room, it felt like returning to an old friend. The room was warm and cozy, bathed in the soft glow of lamplight. Shelves of colorful threads lined the walls, and her loom, now familiar and comforting, stood ready for her to continue her work. The magical cloth, which she had started weaving before her journey, lay draped over the loom, its vibrant colors and shifting images waiting for her final touch. Nia felt a surge of excitement as she approached the loom, the glowing orb from the well still warm in her hand. She sat down and carefully placed the orb beside her, its light blending with the soft glow of the room. With steady hands, she began to weave the memories she had gathered into the cloth, each thread carrying a story, a piece of the forest magic. As Nia wove, the cloth seemed to come alive, the images shifting and changing, telling the stories of the forest past. The sorrow of the storm, the joy of the blooming trees, the harmony between the spirits and the land, all of it flowed into the fabric, creating a tapestry of light and shadow, of memory and magic. As Nia added the final thread to the cloth of dreams, a sense of quiet triumph filled the room. The cloth was unlike anything she had ever created before. It shimmered with colors that seemed to shift and change with every glance, and the images woven into the fabric were alive with motion, telling the stories of the forest and its inhabitants. The sorrow and joy, the love and loss, the harmony and magic of the forest were all captured within the cloth, each thread a part of a larger, more beautiful whole. Nia knew that this cloth was more than just a piece of fabric, it was a living tapestry, a tribute to the forest and its memories. As she stepped back to admire her work, the room was filled with a soft, radiant glow, the light of the well's essence shining through the cloth. The cloth of dreams was complete, but Nia knew that her journey was far from over. There were still more stories to weave, more dreams to capture, and more magic to discover. Word had spread throughout the village that Nia had completed the cloth of dreams, and the villagers gathered in the square for the Grand Unveiling. The air was filled with excitement and anticipation, as everyone was eager to see the masterpiece that Nia had created. Nia stood on the stage, holding the rolled-up cloth with both hands. The elders of the village, including Baba Ikin, were seated at the front, their eyes filled with pride and curiosity. Nia's heart swelled with emotion as she looked out at the familiar faces of her friends, family, and neighbors. With a deep breath, Nia unrolled the cloth of dreams, revealing its shimmering beauty to the crowd. Gasps of awe filled the air as the villagers saw the vibrant colors and the moving images that told the stories of the forest. The cloth seemed to glow with its own light, the memories and magic of the forest woven into every thread. Baba Ikin stood and approached the cloth, his eyes wide with wonder. "This is more than we could have ever imagined, Nia," he said, his voice filled with reverence. "You have captured not only the dreams of our village but the very soul of the forest. This cloth is a testament to your creativity, your courage, and your heart." The villagers cheered, and Nia felt tears of joy fill her eyes. She had done it, she had woven something that would be remembered for generations. But more than that, she had learned so much about herself, about the power of dreams, and about the importance of preserving the magic and memories of the world around her. Later that evening, after the celebrations had ended and the village had grown quiet, Nia found a peaceful spot on a hill overlooking Adotsi. She sat down with the cloth of dreams beside her, watching as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. As she sat there, Nia reflected on her journey, the challenges she had faced, the memories she had gathered, and the lessons she had learned. She realized that the cloth of dreams was not just a piece of art, it was a symbol of everything she had come to understand about life, about creativity, and about the world around her. Nia knew that she had grown in ways she hadn't expected. She had learned that true creativity comes from the heart, from a willingness to embrace both the joy and the sorrow of life. She had discovered that the stories we tell, the dreams we weave, are what connect us to one another and to the world we live in. As Nia looked up at the starry sky, she felt a deep sense of peace. She realized that the true gift of the cloth of dreams was not just the magic it held, but the lessons it had taught her along the way. The moral of Nia's journey was clear: true creativity comes from the heart, and it is through embracing both the joys and the sorrows of life that we create something truly meaningful. The memories we gather, the dreams we weave, are what give our lives purpose and connect us to one another. Nia knew that she would continue to weave, continue to tell the stories of the world around her. But she also knew that the most important stories were those that came from within, from the heart that had learned to embrace life in all its beauty and complexity. And so, with a heart full of gratitude and a mind full of dreams, Nia prepared to continue her journey, knowing that the lessons she had learned would guide her in everything she would create.